Hey guys, Kevin here. Today I want to talk about mindfulness, about the habits that we have in our lives that either allow us to be really successful or hold us back a little bit. We all run on habits. We all have these things that we do every day that we don't even think about. Brushing your teeth, driving to work, cleaning your house, getting the kids ready for school, taking your dogs out, whatever it is. These things that we just don't think about, that we just do. And unfortunately, sometimes that's food. We eat without thinking. We go to the fridge and we open it and we snack without thinking. We drink soda without thinking. We fuel our body with crap without thinking about it because that's what we have conditioned ourselves. That's what society has conditioned us to do. You have to reprogram that thinking. I used to drink a ton of soda and I used to eat like crap. And I really had to be mindful of what I was eating, like what exactly was going into my body and when it was going into my body. A perfect example of this is gummy bears. Oddly enough, when I worked at Macy's, it was the holidays and our administrative assistant had this bowl of gummy bears on her desk. And I would walk by like 10 times a day and I would grab a handful and I would eat it. And that was like 100 calories a handful. It's like 1,000 calories a day that I was consuming of gummy bears, and I was like putting on weight and I was feeling like crap. And gummy bears, like I just was eating mindlessly. I was just grabbing them and eating them, and then I'd walk away and then I'd come back and eat more. And then I had to really buckle down and break that habit. When I really started to look at like what I was eating, I started writing what I was eating and writing it down. Then I was like, damn, it's like 10 handfuls of gummy bears. That's not conducive to losing weight. That's not conducive to being healthy. That's not conducive to just decreasing my sugar intake. And that flipped that switch and allowed me to really focus on being more healthy. And I did that by writing down everything I was eating so I could see what I was doing, so I could see what I was consuming, and I could make the changes necessary. And I was taking a yoga class by this guy, Steve, who's on our team, who's amazing. He's just a great teacher. And he was talking about a study he was reading about, the thoughts that we think in a day. We think most of the thoughts that we think in a day are habits. They just come. It's the same thoughts every day. And most of those thoughts are negative, So there are stories that we have locked into our head about, who we are, our relationships, our jobs, our life, our overall lifestyle, our ability to succeed, our ability to lose weight, our ability to be healthy, our ability to be happy, all these things, and it's mostly negative, and that's terrible, and that's why we have, such turmoil. Think about if all the thoughts that you think in a day are negative, most of them are, you're not going to get very far because that's terrible. And it's true for all of us. We lock in a story in our head, and that becomes truth because it just plays over and over again. Our mind, is trainable. It just thinks, and it just goes, and it just goes. And, we really have to build mindfulness, be in the present moment, and really be focused on, what we want, our hopes, how we're going to get there. Be focused on action and work, and, really have the ability to just make shit happen. Because if we don't, we fall back into this mindless chatter, these negative habits, these negative thoughts that are just conditioned in us. We have to break that conditioning. We have to really focus and be more powerful in that conditioning. A lot of times, we just accept things as they are. Darren Hardy in The Compound Effect tells this story about this kid who has to he's walking with his teacher, and his teacher says, pull up that young sapling, this little tree. And the kid just grabs it and pulls it up. It's like a tiny tree. And he goes, pull up that tree. And it's this little bit bigger tree, and the kid just kind of wiggles it and pulls it up. Then he goes, pull up that tree. And it's about as tall as the kid is, and he gets a little stick and he gets a rock and he just digs this tree up and he pulls it out. And then he goes, pull up that tree. And the kid follows his gaze, and it's this giant, enormous tree. And the kid is like, I can't do that. And the teacher goes, something to the effect of, I'm teaching you a lesson about the habits and the things in your life that are building right now. If you don't pull them up when they're young, they become this huge tree with these enormous roots that we feel like it is impossible to overcome or change, and therefore we don't try. But it's always possible to change. It's always possible to overcome these things. And I've really learned this through experience. I've been sober 8 years, and I went through hell, and I almost died. And I thought my life was always going to be that way. That my life was always going to be this messy, depressing, cycle of addiction and, alcoholism. And It's not. It doesn't have to be. You know, you can make these changes. You can change anything in your life that's not working for you. You know, it just takes a lot of practice, a lot of willingness, and a lot of mindfulness, and just a lot of perseverance. You know, we have to tell ourselves and condition ourselves that we are more powerful than our mind, and we are more powerful than anything that's holding us back, because we are. So, that's all I got to say today. You know, and I really appreciate your time, and have a wonderful day. And I will talk to you soon.